Blueprint Negative campaign continues. That, of course, is the campaign to try to build infrastructure in communities and bring over 500,000 people to live in the Negev desert, which makes up over 60% of the land of Israel, but has less than 10% of the population. That continues, and this year, as part of that Blueprint Negev, we saw the opening of the Beersheba Amphitheater, which is the largest amphitheater in all of Israel. It's a beautiful 12,000-seat amphitheater.
Phenomenal.
That is JNF in Israel. We have a new housing development fund, which is to help develop communities in the Negev. There's also a Go North initiative to try to encourage as many as 300,000 people to go live in the Western Galilee to help develop that. We had, of course, a lot of you know, the acquisition of the Alexander Muss High School in Israel program to ensure that the next generation of Jews in our country have the best Zionist educational experience in Israel. Of course, our parks, forestation, and recreation programs continue, and we continue to make them accessible, to people with disabilities. And finally, Israel's history is being preserved at the very sites where Israel's independence unfolded. And that is just an example of some of the impact of JNF in Israel. Also, of course, have to mention our emergency campaign that came about because of the war this summer. I'm proud to announce, and some of you know this, that JNF raised over $6 million as part of the emergency campaign in 2 months to go to tangible things on the ground, to go to provide bomb shelters to the communities that live along the Negev, to make our facilities like the indoor playground at Sderot and other facilities available to the residents of Israel to improve the quality of life. So we're very proud of the fact that we did that. That was from nearly 20,000 donors. So, just in summary of the beginning, I think Winston Churchill said at some point in the war, he said, "This is not the end, this is not the beginning of the end, but this is the end of the beginning." But based on this, it occurs to me that we are the heirs to a great tradition. The JNF is a great tradition, and in modern terms, it's a universally known brand. Everyone knows about the Jewish National Fund. And it creates in me, and I hope in you, a sense of responsibility to continue on the work of the Jewish National Fund in Israel. It also creates a great opportunity to have a continuing impact on the lives of people in Israel. One thing I picked up, Lauren Mescon and I, and Michael's wife, Ula, were at the national conference, and somebody at the national conference explained that there is an Israel today. There is an Israel today because of the purchase of the land by the JNF 100 years ago and the other activities that JNF has promoted in Israel. If there's going to be an Israel in 100 years, if there's going to be an Israel in 100 years, and the quality of life of people in Israel depends on what we do now. What we do in this room and in our Atlanta community and in the United States to try to raise funds to continue these projects in Israel. So I thank you for joining us in this effort. We'll try to be brief and informative this morning, and with that I'm going to turn it over to our co-president, Alan Walker.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that's what you were doing. That's okay.
The easiest thing to remember is the name. It's Alan. That's why we chose our